Good morning, Packers fans. Aaron Nagler here with your Packers Daily Chat, coming to you live on the Cheesehead TV social channels. It is Friday. Thank God the weekend's here, because God knows I need a drink. Hope you're all doing well. Still dealing with the news, the fallout, the drama of Davante Adams being traded to the Las Vegas Raiders for a first and second round pick. Lots of smoke coming off of this deal in regards to what was offered when the Packers offered more. It was his lifelong dream to play with the Raiders in Vegas. Derek Carr has to fit in there somewhere. Really, the one unanswered question so far is how much money was guaranteed past the first year. Everything else is really just noise. I know the agents went on record last night saying that the Packers offered more. When was that offer made? Was that only after the Raiders got involved and were interested? Um, how is the contract structured as far as the guarantees go? Because as you guys know, as I've been saying for weeks, if not months here, the big sticking point between the Packers and Davante has been, or at least was last year, guaranteed money past the first season. Um, I tend to think when we finally get a look at the contract, the Raiders will have done what Davante's group was asking as far as guaranteeing past that first initial year, something the Packers have been unwilling to do traditionally. Um, I understand I've got a lot of response, obviously, both on Twitter and my inbox, messages on Facebook. I get the emotional aspect of it. I understand that people are either, oh, maybe not good riddance, but the 30-year-old wide receiver don't want to pay him all that money, etc. Or oh, the Packers totally screwed up. Why would they get rid of such a great player? Look, your reaction, whatever it is totally valid. I'm not going to sit here and tell you how to fan. I know for myself, I understand the move, and I understand Davante essentially wanting out. Is what the more I hear about how things transpired and where things stood as of yesterday morning, it sure feels like this had been brewing all season. I think Davante certainly was frustrated at the fact that they couldn't get a deal done last year. I'm not saying that that's been simmering all season long, but I do think it's been in the back of his mind, and I buy him. I buy the idea that he wanted to get to the Raiders, play with Carr. Um, he's bought a home in Vegas, has been reported, and he wanted it out of Green Bay and wanted to start a new chapter of his life. And here's the thing: I've told you guys a million times, and I say it on Twitter sometimes, and it's something that I think does get lost at moments like this: is how much of a relationship business the NFL is, and how much these guys are people. And I've seen so many responses. Oh well, I hope he has fun finishing fourth in the division. Man, even if he is there thinking, "Oh, we're going to go win a Super Bowl," and they don't, right? Say the Raiders completely fall apart. They are in fourth. They have a wasted year, whatever. The man's still making more money than any other non-quarterback in the NFL, living in Vegas with his young family as a Cali kid playing with his best friend. I think his life's going to be okay. I think Davante Adams is going to be all right, regardless of what happens with the Raiders when it comes to pursuing a championship. It's just a lot of sour grapes from Packers fans in that regard. But never sour grapes in the comment section here at Cheesehead TV. All right, there may be fabrication there. Good to see everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Quinn starting us off with a super chat. Morning, Nags. Going to miss the Adams-Rogers connection, but really excited to see what Goody is going to do with our extra picks and new cap space. Well, you got to think he's going to be calling wide receivers. I think MVS is definitely back in play in a serious way that he probably wasn't when Adams was on the team. Bringing him back, maybe not a priority, but I suspect that'll be something they look at pretty seriously. Other free agents, whether it's Julio Jones, somebody I had kind of dismissed that possibility prior to Adams being traded. Now, everything's on the table. Julio Jones will probably get a call. We know Landry's already got a call. The one guy, the big name, I think we've heard a lot of that I doubt gets a call is OBJ, simply because of how late he's, in the season. Obviously, last game of the season in the Super Bowl, suffering that ACL injury. You get him back, or you get him to Green Bay, great. Well, when is he available? December, maybe, and that's probably being, optimistic. I don't know. On a 2-year window with Rodgers, I'd be surprised. But a lot of these guys are coming off injuries in some way. Maybe Robert Woods is an option as somebody you could trade for. Again, a guy coming off an ACL injury. But they will undoubtedly be in the receiver market in a big way, in a way they weren't 24 hours ago. Another name to look out for, and I kind of hinted at this last night on Twitter, is Austin Hooper, the former Browns and Falcons tight end. Obviously, there's some familiarity with Matt LaFleur from his time in Atlanta. Um, it sounds like there's a good possibility the Packers try to make a push there. And look, as we've talked about many times, it's not about the receiver depth chart. It's about the 5 eligibles. It's about how many different ways you can get the football in space to your playmakers, to skill position players. And the wide receiver depth chart, understandable. It's somewhat important, but much more important is how are you deploying your 5 eligible wide receivers, or 5 eligible receivers? Sorry, the skill position players as a whole is a much more important aspect for the Packers offense going forward than just the wide receiver depth chart. Soder, what's up, man? Thanks for the super chat. High probability Adams is about to find out that Simple Jack hair aficionado Mark Davis and 1265 have minimal overlap on the NFL Venn diagram. At least he will be able to see Green Bay in his head movies. I mean, look, you're absolutely right in regards to how teams are run, and clearly Mark Davis operates in a very different manner than the Packers do, but I think Adams will welcome that change. I mean, not Green Bay life ain't for everybody. And I think Davante was ready to kind of put that in the rearview mirror, so to speak. And I don't begrudge him for that. But you're right. He's definitely ready to taste a different kind of NFL career. Judy, thank you for the super chat. Will 12 participate in all the offseason practices now to develop a Rappaport with a new wide receiver? Seems his new contract gave him an out to not participate. It most certainly did. I mean, his workout bonus traditionally has been $500,000 for a just north of 80% participation. Now he gets $50,000 for showing up for 3 days. So we'll see. We shall see. Now, I think, to your point, I think he would want to be there, especially given the fact that he'll probably be throwing to a number of new faces. But we'll see. We'll see. I think he will be. I think he'll show up. But I also don't hate the idea of Jordan Love getting a ton of reps. Chris, thanks for the super chat. Jennings, Driver, Nelson Jones, Landry Jones, Cobb, MVS, Olaf. Sounds like the post-Adams Packers is constructed this way. It could be Super Bowl bound. 100%. That's the way to think about it. Super Bowl bound. I mean, there's so much work to be done at this point. Between free agency and the draft. With Aaron Rodgers, you're always a Super Bowl contender. There's zero doubt about that, especially with the way this roster is constructed. They still have an ascending defense. Yes, they have some stuff to figure out skill position-wise on offense, but yeah, the window's still open. Will, thanks for the super chat. Option 1, let Adams walk in free agency. Get cap space and comp pick. Option 2, tag Adams and trade him for first and second round draft picks. I'm happy with option 2. Makes sense to me, man. I get you. I wish we would have got more in return. Justin, I hear you, but you got to remember, they probably could have if there had been a wider kind of market, i.e., other teams involved. But it's pretty clear that Davante wanted to go to the Raiders. This wasn't an open bidding process. And if it had been, they probably could have got more. Also, things like John Schneider trading away 2 picks for a safety, that kind of skews perception. But I think they got decent value in return. Now, people will go after them for all manner of stuff, and I understand it. That's the way the internet works. But because of the fact that they really had no other suitors, and the player in question had a destination specifically in mind, I think that limited how much they could try to jack up that price, so to speak. Cameron, thanks for the super chat. I'd be ecstatic for 2 of Landry, Juju, and Robert Woods, all great players that I think would work well in our offense, multiple reliable guys. Yeah, I'd love it. I would be fascinated to see how Packers fandom would respond to Juju in Green Bay. I'd love it, man. And I love guys with personalities, guys who are a little bit more vocal off the field, and Juju certainly fits that bill. I know some Packers fans are not fans of that, but I'd be in on it. But yeah, I'm with you. The Robert Woods thing is interesting. I'd love to know what his rehab is, how that's progressing, etc. I know I saw a report that he's expected to be back in time for the start of training camp. So that might be a possibility. This is probably my favorite comment ever. AZ Atheist, yawn, it's done. Who cares? Man, I don't know. You nailed it. I don't understand why we even exist. When things are done, they have happened and transpired. Why do we talk? Why do we speak? Why do we think? Why do we exist? Why? AZ Atheist living up to the name there, buddy. I love it. Too old for this. What's up, man? Thanks for the super chat. I'm heartbroken, but very optimistic going forward. The move kind of opens up the playbook for Rodgers a bit. I have to respect Adams' choice. Sometimes we all need a fresh start. All of that is understandable, man. The heartbroken bit, I totally get. I love Davante as a dude, as a Packer. I think he's carried himself the absolute best way possible, represented the franchise in uh, exemplary fashion, and he's one of the greatest to ever do it, all in the green and gold. And to see him, I talked about it a bit last night, to see him go from his rookie year and then that really tough second season to where he is now. I mean, it's just awesome. It's been an awesome ride. But also to your point, sometimes we all need a fresh start, and I think that's where Davante, he kind of hit the maybe not a wall in his life, but he definitely wanted a switch, a change. And I get it, man. The move kind of opens up the playbook for Rodgers. There you go. It's going to be fascinating to watch. I mean, we've talked about it here before. Remember when Brett Favre lost Sterling Sharp and how it opened everything up in Holmgren's offense? I'm not saying. I'm just saying. Adrian, thanks for the super chat. I have to respect Davante being so passionate about the team he supported as a child. I wish the Watt brothers felt that way about the Packers. I mean, don't get her twisted. He got paid, you know. I mean, if the Packers were on offer to make JJ Watt the highest paid defender ever, whatever, blah blah blah, when he was a free agent, I'm sure he would have been entertaining that call. But Packers had no money. I mean, the money is a component here. Don't get it twisted. Dylan, thanks for the super chat. Goody has to have a hard on with all these picks. I hope so. Let's do it, man. Let's get all sorts of new blood in here. Braden, thank you for the super chat. I feel like my first girlfriend just broke up with me. I treated her well, and I don't know what I did wrong. I feel lost and sad. How can we offer more and he leaves? Like I've been saying, man, because he's a human and he has a life and he wants to play with his, buddy and car and wants to play for the Raiders. There's I don't it's not a big mystery to me. I get it. He's a human, man. Nothing wrong with that. Also, we offered more. That's the line, right? The Packers offered more. And I know the agents came out and confirmed that last night. And I understand all that. But as I said at the top of the stream, we have not seen yet the actual contract and how it breaks down, these guarantees. And if there is stuff guaranteed past the first year, which again, I suspect there is with the Raiders deal in a way that probably wasn't there with the Packers deal. That's a big point. What's up, man? Thanks for the super chat. In Goody, I trust totally. That's my guy. That's what I like to hear. Pat, thanks for the super chat. I know first world problems, but I got one bummed out 10-year-old at home who loves 17 and doesn't understand the business of the game. Oh, Pat, that is tough, man. I get it. And that's not a first world problem. I mean, that's the kid's life, This is his team. That's clearly one of his favorite players. And now that guy is gone. It's hard to understand why, but I would frame it, obviously there are many levels and layers to it, but if I would frame it to your kid, like, imagine you had the chance to go play for the Packers. You were the best at your position, whatever the kid likes to play. Maybe he's a wide receiver, maybe he's a running back, maybe he's a quarterback. You're the best in the game, and there you have this sudden opportunity to go play for the Packers. And you've made all this money and done all these things with, I don't know, like the Texans or whatever. But you have an opportunity to go play for the Green Bay Packers. I think he'll maybe start to get it a little bit. But Pat, that's a tough one, man. That is a tough one. Matt, thank you for the super chat. It sucks, but Davante owes us nothing. He has the right to be happy. No need to pay a guy who doesn't want to be here. Might as well trade him. I mean, that's a fair take, man. Can't quibble with it. If he doesn't want to be in Green Bay, might as well get something for him, especially if there's, a couple Premium picks on offer. Chris, thanks for the super chat. Maybe the last dance pick was for Tay all along. We talked about this last night. I mean, looks pretty cut and dry now, doesn't it? Last dance was about Davante. Carl, thanks for the super chat. Good morning. I'm really looking forward to the draft this year with the draft capital we have now. First round D lineman or wide receiver, team first, baby. Carl, I think both will be in play. I still think the Packers look defensive line / defensive end along with wide receiver. And I do not doubt for a moment at this point that wide receiver is in play in the first round in a way it hasn't been for like forever in Green Bay. That doesn't necessarily mean they will automatically pull the trigger. I think there's probably a better chance they do it in round 2, but yeah, you can't dismiss the idea. Can't dismiss the possibility in a way that you've been able to for a long time in Green Bay. Thomas, thank you for the super chat. This makes up for us not being able to trade Raj. Well, I mean, they're very, very different, right? I mean, if you trade Rodgers, you are 100% starting a new era, and you are clearly taking a step back when it comes to being Super Bowl contenders. Trading Davante, the best at his position, getting the capital back, it is certainly a different chapter, but you're not completely, taking that step and ripping the Band-Aid off, as we talked all kind of off season so far. You're not, I don't want to say starting the rebuild, but you're not starting the next chapter in a way you would be if you traded Rodgers. That would be 100% okay. We're ready to build up Jordan Love and probably be hopefully Super Bowl contenders in a year or two. They're still contenders without Davante. This is going to be interesting to see how they construct the roster and how they go about attacking defenses in a more diversified way. Dave, thanks for the super chat. Raiders paid a first and a second for the right to pay $29 million a year. This is why draft and develop matters so much. I mean, you can do both. It's clear. I mean, the last 2 years, you look at Tampa, you look at the Rams. It's clear that you can go and get superstars or high blue chip players, so to speak, on the regular, and they will definitely contribute to your championship. But the draft and develop is still important. I mean, the Rams ranked 6th out of 32 teams for homegrown talent last year. That's what kind of gets lost in the idea of, they traded for all these guys, they brought on all these stars, but they had a nucleus and a core to work from while doing that. And that's, to your point, draft and develop is still the backbone of your team, or it should be 100%. And they have certainly given themselves some really good ammunition now to build that base and hopefully solidify, a roster for the next, 4 or 5 years. Dylan, thanks for the super chat. Will we see LaFleur's vision of the offense come to greater fruition now? And could we see a slight increase in higher risk throws, INTs, from 12? I don't know about that last part. And Rodgers isn't going to change this far into his tenure as far as his risk assessment. I do think, if anything, we'll probably see fewer just because he trusted Davante to come down with stuff that maybe he doesn't with anybody else. But as far as Matt LaFleur's vision of the offense, I don't know. I mean, kind of, but Aaron's got a major voice in this, and I think Steno will have a voice, maybe Clements too. So I think it'll be interesting to see how much they kind of return possibly to some of the Shanahan type principles that we saw back in 2020. But as long as Aaron's in town, he is going to have a major say in whatever gets put together on offense. But hey, who knows? Maybe he dives into that idea and loves, some more condensed formations, more motion, what have you, more running game. Although I'm not holding my breath on that one. Chris, thanks for the super chat. Maybe we trade for a Lockett or a DK. I'm so excited for what we're going to end up with. These game plans are going to be so fun, and we all know it. People keep talking about like trading for the Seattle wide receivers. Maybe, but Seattle's trying to win games too. And I know they traded Russ away. I get that. Russell wanted out. I haven't seen, maybe have Lockett and DK said, have they demanded trades? I don't know. Is it a possibility? I guess. Yeah, sure. But I don't think that's forefront on their minds, but could always make a call. Marshall, thanks for the super chat. This trade amplified Bears fans' delusion. 7 of my friends who are Bears fans bet $100 that they now are the favorites to win the division. Easy money without even knowing who will be on the final roster. Go Pack Go. It's a tradition unlike any other. I saw some analyst put out like, oh, the NFC North division now goes through Minnesota or something like that. This happens every year, man. The Packers just keep their head down, do their business, do their work, and at the end of the year, they're NFC North champs. I mean, I ain't sweating it, but that's hilarious that they threw down that kind of money. Dustin, thanks for the super chat. Hot take. I don't hate the trade. I like Rodgers spreading it out, running the ball, using that money elsewhere like Douglas, MVS, Campbell. I'm with you, man. I mean, again, I understand it. I hate losing Davante. I love the dude. But yeah, I feel you. I love this. This is a great Rob Kress on Facebook. Winfrey. I love it. I love it. Juwan Winfrey, baby. The people's champ. He had a great camp. He had an up and down performance when he was thrust into action against the Cardinals, but for his first NFL action, it wasn't terrible. I hope, man. I hope. Big Cheese, what's up, man? Thanks for the super chat. Morning, Nags. You think they try to trade for someone with the flexibility in the picks they got, or is it draft and develop? I think there's a chance they make a trade, but I don't think they're going to do it just to do it. I think they'll explore free agency first, and then possibly utilize one of those picks at the wide receiver position. But I think everything is on the table. There's no doubt there. Judy, thank you for the super chat. DK Metcalf trade, younger than Landry. And like I said, everything's on the table, but I don't even know if he's available. Dustin, thanks for the super chat. Adams overshadowing EQ lost such disrespect. I know, man. I saw EQ signed with the Bears. Luke Getsy gets a wide receiver who knows his system down there in Chicago. Now watch him come and just like dominate for years in Chicago. I don't need that in my life. Don't need that in my life. Scott, thanks for the super sticker. Greatly appreciated. Christian, thank you for the super chat. Good morning, Nags. Finally joined Patreon last night after the extra cheese therapy session. Thanks for what you and Cheesehead TV do. Packers bigger than Adams. Let's go. Go Pack Go. Well, Christian, thank you so much for the support on Patreon. It really, really means a lot to myself, Corey, and everyone at Cheesehead TV. I always say Patreon members are the lifeblood of Cheesehead TV. We really appreciate the support. Thank you so much. I got a bunch of I got like 4 super chats to get to, and then I got to get going. Justin, thanks, buddy. I'm with you, Nags. We'll miss Davante in Green Bay, but can see some possible upside to this move. Rodgers having to spread the ball around more out of necessity has worked in the past. That's the thing. The tape is out there. And I understand it's going to be a bit different because some of the pieces are different, but you know, how this offense can become more efficient without Davante is clear as day. I mean, the evidence is there. There are 7 games worth that you can go and look at. Now, again, where are the pieces going to be? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how they construct it. But yeah, I'm excited for that possibility, no doubt. Cheeto, thank you for the super chat. This year's draft, Green Bay will draft a quarterback, running back, and tight end. Man, could you imagine if they took a quarterback in the first? I'm just here to watch the world burn, man. It'd be amazing. Carl, thanks again, buddy. 7-0 without Adams in the lineup. Not saying, just saying. Look, I said that last night on Twitter, and that's not a shield. That doesn't, mean much of anything heading into this year other than they know how to operate on offense without Davante Adams. But they still got to do the work. They still got to find the pieces. But yeah, if certainly Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers have shown they know how to approach things on offense without Davante. Joseph, thanks for the super chat. Of course, I get my first Adams jersey for Christmas. Oh, no. This is why you got to just stick with the classics. You got to get your Bart Starrs, your Don Hudsons. Stick with the class, or even like recent class. Get yourself a Reggie White, or go kind of old school and get Lynn Dickey, or maybe a Donald Driver. Get the stick with those, then you'll be good. All right, everybody. I'm going to have to get going. I can't thank you guys enough for hanging out, talking Packers each and every day, Monday through Friday, right here on the Cheesehead TV social channels. Thank you so much for all the chats and hanging out every day. I really, really appreciate it. Please do me a monster favor and hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and then tell your friends and tell your family. Cheesehead TV, we are devoted to Green Bay Packers fans worldwide. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a great weekend. Go Pack Go.